Welcome back. This is your favorite faceless masked commentator. I cover news and give my thoughts on issues. If you find my commentary interesting, subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment. Today we're talking about birthright citizenship, that core idea baked into the 14th Amendment saying anyone born on U.S. soil gets American citizenship. President Trump tried to change that with an executive order back in early 2025, and now the whole thing has landed back in front of the Supreme Court after a wild ride through the lower courts. We're going to walk through exactly how we got here. Trump signed the executive order titled Protecting the Meaning and Value of American Citizenship on January 2025. It quotes the 14th Amendment word for word. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens. But the order argues the amendment has never been read to hand citizenship to literally everyone born inside our borders. It has always excluded people born here, but not truly subject to U.S. jurisdiction. Congress even backed that up in the Immigration and Nationality Act, 8 U.S.C. 1401. The order is this: no department or agency can issue or accept documents recognizing U.S. citizenship for these two groups. First group, when the mother was unlawfully present in the United States and the father was not a U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident at the time of birth. Second, when the mother's presence was lawful but temporary, like on a visa waiver, student visa, work visa, or tourist visa, and again, the father wasn't a citizen or permanent resident. It tells the Secretary of State, the Attorney General, Homeland Security, and the Social Security Commissioner to update all their rules and policies to match, and to put out public guidance within 30 days. Lawsuits started flying almost immediately. Lower courts, groups like the ACLU, states, and immigrant rights organizations sued. They argued the order violates the 14th Amendment, Supreme Court precedent, and federal law. They even slapped injunctions on it, a request to kill the order. The Trump administration went to the Supreme Court in March 2025 asking the justices to stop those universal injunctions from standing while the cases played out. On June 27, 2025, the court ruled 6-3 in Trump versus CASA. Justice Amy Coney Barrett claimed the federal courts don't have the historical power to hand out these broad universal injunctions. They basically left the decisions up to the lower courts and dropped it. The lower courts kept ruling on the substance. In July, Judge Joseph LaPlante in New Hampshire issued a preliminary injunction for a class of babies in Barbara versus Trump, saying the order likely contradicts the plain text of the 14th Amendment and century-old precedent. The Ninth Circuit panel ruled the order invalid for similar reasons. In August, Judge Deborah Boardman certified a nationwide class in CASA versus Trump for all kids born after February 19, 2025, who would be affected, and temporarily blocked enforcement against them. By late September 2025, the administration finally asked the Supreme Court to pick the order up again, petitioning on the Ninth Circuit ruling and the New Hampshire class decision. They argued the widespread view that birth on U.S. soil automatically confers citizenship no matter what has had destructive consequences. That brings us to April 1, 2026, when the Supreme Court heard oral arguments wrap up in Trump versus Barbara, the big nationwide class action brought by the ACLU affiliates from New Hampshire, Maine, and Massachusetts, the Legal Defense Fund, Asian Law Caucus, and Democracy Defenders Fund. At this time, it's still an ongoing battle between courts and the Trump administration. We're hearing all sorts of sob stories and historical hearings trying to block the order. Lower courts have uniformly blocked the order so far, and everyone's waiting on the Supreme Court's decision expected by the end of June or early July 2026. For my personal thoughts, it's a tricky subject, but this has to happen. If you didn't know much back then, Trump's executive order in 2025 may have come out of left field. Once you dig into why Trump made this order, a lot of things start to make sense. The lower courts fighting against the order aren't even making an attempt to understand or compromise on this order. Bluntly put, the current 14th interpretation busts the door wide open for all sorts of foreign interference. The very first statement in Section 1 of the 14th, all persons born or naturalized in the United States. They're focused on the born part and not the naturalized part. If all you need are government papers or being born here to be naturalized, what constitutes a foreign spy? The answer is cultural assimilation. In the case of a child born from a foreign mother, we'll never know if they're assimilated for a very long time. By that point, it may be too late. It's since been proven that we have foreigners here that value their own countries over America. The case of relatives of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani getting their green cards removed for openly supporting Iran in the war. Under current interpretation, these people are deemed naturalized despite not sharing American values. You don't have to like our government, but supporting our enemies is wishing for the death of American soldiers. That's a line that shouldn't be crossed. You don't want a birthright American child preaching the U.S. is the great Satan and needs to be abolished and still be protected as a normal American with free speech. Those are the people in our schools teaching other kids how to hate America. Side note, what nation teaches their kids to hate their homeland? There's also the Muslim retards yelling Allah Akbar, shooting up a school in Virginia and tossing bombs in New York. If they're working, getting money, and traveling, they're likely born or naturalized here. See the issue? Birth tourism is a business that encourages pregnant women to have their babies on American land via travel permits. This legalizes them through our 14th Amendment. After they're born, they return home to be raised in their native culture while having a back door into the U.S. It's not centered around foreign espionage specifically, but you're retarded if you think this isn't exploitable. Some of these people wormed their way into notable positions. Chen Guangdong found guilty for stealing over 3,600 files on ballistic missile detection. Former Pentagon engineer Gokhan Gun guilty for theft of classified DoD documentations. There is a clear loophole here. We don't have any way of proving that the children born of foreigners are acting in good faith for America or not. This is why the focus isn't being born here, but what classifies a person as naturalized. With all that said, I'm not blind to the tragedies if this executive order is upheld. There are plenty of reasons to leave your own nation and seek refuge for you or give your child a better life. I wish more people in MAGA would acknowledge this point more, but we can't just operate in good faith anymore. My solution here is giving the child a chance to earn their full citizenship documentations regardless of the parent's status. The child could be under heavy surveillance or even forcibly adopted into an American family for assimilation, after which they go to a special school to earn a special license similar but different to official citizenship papers. If they fuck up, they lose it and join their parents. Easy to track, easy to vet. Yes, this means family separation, but again, we can't trust good faith anymore. Steven Crowder did a ride-along with ICE agents and ended up arresting an illegal immigrant mother using her own daughter in lewd videos. As a prideful nation, we cannot set this precedent. This is what it takes to stay the strong, free, and prosperous nation that good faith immigrants want to come to. If you enjoyed, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and let me know in the comments what you think about birthright citizenship. I'll catch you in the next one.